Well, there should be a position 5 clock though, right? Like, I still think the Mirana's going to be with the Beastmaster here.
Mm.
Because it is
Yeah.
a pretty good clock game so far, though, in all fairness. Coddle just a free kill for you every time you've got that hook shot up. Even Mars can get quite annoyed with the clockwork. Just the cogs in the arena can be quite annoying, to say the least.
Yeah, we've seen that work both ways. Like clockwork in the arena when he drops cogs or even just dropping cogs, Mars can immediately punish by skewering to the cogs. So it can be detrimental for Infinity as well if they do not line up their positioning there. But I think, again, just down to vision. Like Hawks coming out, Flare coming out, you're not going to have very easy ways for NoPing to constantly apply that rotation, so they're going to have to commit a lot of smokes to get those movements out. Otherwise, Infinity's just going to be able to retreat if they manage to sense that out. It's all down to using those Hawks well, using those rocket flares well. And NoPing are taking a lot of time to pick up that next pick, draining the reserve time all the way down. They go with a CM on hand, just playing with the spell spam they've got. So you've got a lot of mana regen with Kotal CM now. You've got some fairly good team fight here. Arena plus Freezing Field is actually pretty darn potent. So that is looking good in terms of what NoPing can do with their team fight. Issue is now you've got 2 soft targets for the Clockwork to go for. Like Keeper of Light and Crystal Maiden will just absolutely melt to a Clockwork hook shot. He's got some really good targets to go for, and that just gives some value here for Infinity.
I do agree, John. And now the Infinity Esports side, they go for the Weaver pickup. So those 2 supports are gonna have hell this game, I'd say. So many things to worry about for these poor supports, but we've seen NoPing many times with this Crystal Maiden, with this Keeper of the Light. They do tend to do a lot of work. Can be quite hard to control them, even if they aren't very squishy. Both supports generally do position themselves quite well and make it extremely hard to be able to get much done. NoPing now 15 seconds reserve time left for this 4th pickup. They'll have a think about it. It looks like they are going to drag out the rest of their time for this 4th pick, but they go for the Gyrocopter, which, you know, it's another one of those cores that can farm up very fast. I mean, you almost have a split shot available with the flak cannon. I almost forgot the skill name because it's been so long. But you do have a way of kind of flash farming with that flak cannon. I almost forgot again. So fair enough, the Gyrocopter comes out, very good in team fight as well. Even up against the Beastmaster in the laning phase, you can deal with the boars because you have the flak cannon and you have the rocket barrage. And if the Beastmaster does get a little bit too close, just spam rocket barrage over and over again. He can't really do too much about it.
Yeah, that makes me wonder whether or not Infinity is going to look for the Wild Axis build. I mean, that's the option you can go for here if you don't feel confident about maintaining those boys in the game. Axis up, you spam it out. You don't have the best sustain because you don't have a CM or a Kotal yourself, but you should still be able to get some good harassment out if you want to play that way for Infinity. So they've got an option in the Beastmaster still deal with that lane. NoPing, though, tying in their team fight, as you mentioned, like you've got Arena plus Call Down now, along with Freezing Field, so they can actually play a lot more. The uptime for the spells are a lot better as well, so they're not constrained by cooldowns here, and NoPing can still keep fighting out and having the Gyrocopter dip in and out for those fights. We'll have to see what comes out mid here. Do see the last ban outs. Leshrac and DP taken out once more by NoPing, whereas Infinity do take care of the Ember and Tiny. Just fairly straightforward mid heroes, especially on NoPing's end. They just don't want the Beastmaster to get more value with additional push. You're not going to have that for Infinity. There are still some options here. OD is still an option for both sides if they want to, and it's still really potent. Might be a bit better for NoPing for setup, but they do go with a Storm Spirit. So that does slide through. It gives them another way of approaching these fights. You don't have the best lockdown on Infinity to deal with that, besides Roar. So you're going to have to choose your target for the Roar. If you can catch the Storm with Roar, that's great. Excuse me, but beyond that, that's all the lockdown you have so far for something slippery like that.
Okay. Puck is the last pickup here from Infinity. We talked about the Puck last game. It wasn't quite picked up, but this time around it is. I think it's going to be a very nice puck game here for Pippi. Overall, I actually really like the draft from Infinity. The only problem I see is the fact that they are on ping now. And we've seen this switch up before. The team that is on ping, even if they have the better draft, do tend to struggle quite a bit. So I'd have to favor NoPing going into this. John, would you be agreeing with me on that?
Yeah, it's and we've seen this play out in a couple of these games where the server does make a big difference. We'll have to see if Infinity can deliver the same response as they had in game one, or whether NoPing can use that NoPing advantage in a big way. There's a lot of back and forth here. Like, the puck kind of deals with their Storm Spirit issues. The laning for the puck should be pretty well here, but the Storm should still also be able to find farm. It comes down to how well you can time those Dream Coils, how well you can time the Roars, and whether or not you can contest HFN's farm. You can't allow the Gyrocopter to just AFK farm up. He does have a lot of clearing on camps. He can clear out the waves really well. Compare that to a Weaver, and Weaver can kind of do the same, but not in the same speed a Gyrocopter can. So you have to watch that farm game out. That's something we know HFN is very comfy on, just sticking back, building up. And Infinity's going to have to try to match that pace by preventing that farm-up game.
See how it all goes, John. Game number 2. Of course, NoPing looking to draw this one out if they can, and Infinity Esports would love to start their day off with a 2-0 victory. For now, of course, we are going to have our standard pause before we do get the game started. And you know, John, this Gyrocopter, although it's been a long time since we've seen it, I feel like we're one buff away from this hero being back into the meta. It's always one of those things with this Gyrocopter, right? It doesn't look great, it doesn't feel great. You buff it once and everyone believes it's broken. And I feel like we're only one buff away from Gyro being the main carry in the meta once again.
Yeah, it's just fairly solid. You know, it's like a jug. Like, the values get tweaked, but eventually that hero comes creeping back in. I think with the emphasis on a lot of stacking, Gyrocopter already gets a lot of value, right? We see a lot of supports focusing on building up camps, triangle camps for the side of Radiant, top jungle for the side of Dire. And Gyrocopter is just one of those heroes that clears it out fast, has really good laning presence. A lot of options here for NoPing to play aggressive because of the Gyro. Like, HFN doesn't necessarily just have to sit back and farm. We're going to have to see if they do get that aggression going. They're starting with a fairly early tri-lane bot just to get the ball rolling. And if you overstep on Infinity's end, it could be really easy to punish that.
Oh, Sexy Yogi, and now going to move up towards Oscar, but he's going to be alright on the Mars. Looks like they might even get themselves a boar. Very nice. Matthew does pick that one up, and you can see how much XP that gives to HFN, just getting that one boar. It's almost the same as a range creep. Not quite, but it is there, and HFN is now going to find the level 2 timing probably a little bit faster than that Beastmaster, which may mean they may be able to set up for a kill here with this Crystal Maiden. In fact, Matthew, very cheeky stuff, is going to spot out the courier of the Beastmaster and is going to be able to secure it. That's something I don't get to see every day, John, but Matthew, great game sense. It does cost him his own salve, but he does deny off that set of tangos. And of course, the gold is also going to be very nice here for the side of NoPing.
Yeah, it's a lot coming out here for NoPing just to get that on hand. They don't stay around for the first blood, but Matthew does make his way up top. And this is a bit of an awkward lane for the side of Infinity, right? Look at Sexy Yogi just copying way too many hits.
One more.
That's his bad result down.
One more from Oscar would do it. He doesn't have the spear up, so he can't really throw that out. Sexy Yogi going to try and stick around, but the creep wave has been pulled to that large camp. And Oscar is still going to be able to contest it by dragging the creep wave of the Dire side over. So just creating a real kind of mess here in this Dire jungle. As now we're laning in the jungle. But still, it's worth trying to get in range to try and steal the CS and of course get the XP. Don't give it all the way to the Weaver. That being said, now has hit level 2 and he's going to be pretty happy with himself on this Weaver. Of course, looking over to the mid lane, Pippi is going to be up against Dark Mago. So Storm vs Puck matchup. For now, it is favoring Dark Mago, who is in front in terms of CS. Pippi trying to catch up here, but it looks like he is going to be a little bit behind in this laning phase.
Yeah, I mean, Dark Mago is just using these early levels as best as he can. Static Remnant drop in the middle of the wave, and then following up with the Overload. Every time you phase shift out, you are vulnerable, and PP has to watch himself using that in the middle of the lane. Dark Mago can find a punishment. He's not too far behind on the puck, I mean, at least in terms of harassment, but the farm distribution is starting to really go Dark Mago's way. Really have to watch out for giving Storm an early farm lead. PP should have a better time reaching out for those power runes, as he does have the illusory orb, so we'll see if he can secure that safely for himself along with his supports. Does give us a chance to look at that last lane. Little boy just playing tag right now with Pandaboo, and this is something the CM can do quite well, is kill those boars off. You just get the frostbite off. You're not going to be looking for kills in this lane, as HFN is more than likely just focusing on farm.
Oscar, he turned around to try and kill off Sexy Yogi, but the battery assault was still going, so he actually ends up going down. And now the one to pick up the kill on the Weaver. That's going to feel very, very good for this position 1 Weaver, as now loves that bonus gold. He was falling just a little bit behind in terms of CS, so that gold is definitely going to help him out. A bit of a mistake there from Almaz.
Yeah, that's a huge boon for Infinity, just having that up. And with level 2 and Sexy Yogi, you can just get this done every single time. Go up, battery assault, get the cogs off. The boots just make it so much easier to approach that lane. And there's not much magic you can do about it. You can spam out the Illuminate, but he was fairly low on mana, and here they go again.
Ooh, speed not going to land there on Sexy Yogi. So he's still alive on this clockwork, and he's going to run away. Another pretty big mistake here from Oscar. And it was a bit of an awkward speed to try and land anyway. It looked like it should have landed, but it does not. And that'll mean the clockwork gets away again. Meanwhile, bot lane, Pamplona is going to be chased down by Pandaboo. I think Pamplona is going to be just fine, as he does go for the 4-minute power rune spawn. Unfortunately, though, for them, it is going to be up a top rune, so Dark Mago is going to be able to pick it up. And Pippi, he'll be left with an empty bottle. And Dark Mago will be left to dominate the lane even further now.
Yeah, he's really building up in the Storm. Level 5 ahead of the puck. Slight EXP lead. That should mean level 6 lines up faster for Dark Mago. And that should allow the Storm to really start to flex some muscles here. Once you have the ball lightning, overload spam could be a bit tricky for PP. Of course, you do tend to stick to level 1 phase shift for the laning phase. So you don't have big windows to dodge out these spells. There can be a lot of damage that flies out. NoPing overall, despite losing First Blood, are still finding a steady influx of farm. Like, they are keeping this Weaver down a lot more than HFN is getting. So your Gyrocopter is just building up a lot better, and the flash farm a Gyro can hit is still, you know, fairly fast compared to Weaver. So you have to watch out giving some of this early advantage out, especially since you're already having these huge stacks from Madu, and Dark Mago is getting some early farm for himself from cleaning this out.
Yeah, that he is. Sexy Yogi actually is able to spot this out, but the Observer Ward is going to be denied off. So not even able to block the camp there for Dark Mago. And it's going to be a very nice Orchid timing for this Storm, just based off how his farm is going so far. And, well, I don't believe you can really slow him down now with that level 6 timing. Meanwhile, bot lane, Little Boy, going to be in a lot of danger as the homing missile does land, and that'll be Little Boy dying to HFN. No rocket barrage even necessary there from the Gyrocopter. That'll make it a 1-to-1, but both the safe lane and the mid lane for NoPing have been won out. Which is quite concerning here, but they have got a Dream Call out on the Storm now. He's still just going to turn around for a Vortex into Pamplona. Illuminate flies through as well. He will stick charge up. Dark Mago, he thought about going for the zip. Instead, he's going to stick around for the rune, and he does get very lucky with an Arcane Rune.
Yeah, and that should allow for more aggression if he wants to. He is TPing out.
Oscar. Sexy Yogi going to be targeted now, and this time with the Storm around, they should definitely be able to get the kill. Turning now back onto Now. Now's going to be slightly cautious as a spear does land there from Oscar. Sakuchi or no Sakuchi, Dark Mago will be able to get a double kill on the Storm.
That's big. Bleeding out to the Storm like that early on. You talk about that Orchid timing for Dark Mago. It's going to line up very quickly, and that does help Oscar bounce back from this rather slow lane of his as well. So you're getting a lot more from the early rotations out from Dark Mago. We're not seeing opportunities line up for PP. He did drop Dream Coil early on, so he doesn't have that. Although down bot, they are grouping up.
Yeah, Little Boy gonna cop a bit of damage, but they do have help around. Pamplona and Sexy Yogi now gonna turn around onto HFN, but he's gonna be just fine as he gets the call down off. Sexy Yogi right in the middle of all this, does not want to be here any longer, but he doesn't really have much of a choice in the matter. He's gonna die. And, well, that's a 3-man rotation leading to nothing. So, a real big shame here for Infinity, but they don't seem to be able to get these ganks to work out in their favor.
Yeah, they're just not able to get the rotations they want out. There's a huge level disparity now between Little Boy and HFN. Like, Little Boy's just about to hit 5, whereas HFN's already at level 7. He's got all his spells up, he's doing a lot of damage, and they're just not able to really work that out as much as they can. You need Roar up fast if you want to get that control off. They still are sticking their supports here. Pamplona's down, and PP's here now as well with a smoke.
They're going to try again, but the smoke is broken. HFN does show himself for a moment, but he's going to be all right. They know. They've scanned it out. This is a lot of wasted time.
Oh, Sexy Yogi.
For Infinity, as Sexy Yogi dies mid lane. Dark Mago able to take another kill for himself and gets another power rune. This time the Invis, which he may need to use very soon. As that the bot lane is still being targeted by Infinity, but they haven't found anything.
No, and they're forced to break off that rotation now. Pamplona's trying to walk down mid. PP's down to half mana with an empty bottle, so it wouldn't line up well. And again, you're just seeing the efficiency when you've got this Keeper of the Light around. He's getting so many stacks up. Dark Mago is just clearing them out, and they can constantly build up. They smoke up here as well. Pandabu and Matthew ready to look for a kill themselves.
That they are. And Little Boy, I mean, he's just about to hit 6. He'll get it now, but it's going to feel real bad if he dies again. Frostbite there onto the Hawk. Roar is going to fly out into an arrow, and they might get the CM, but the cooldown is there from HFN now, landing onto Little Boy, and that's going to be a Beastmaster dead. Pamplona should be able to leap his way out.
Oh!
Or maybe not. Oscar, Spear, he doesn't see him. Of course, you would just assume he made it. But still, a CM for a Beastmaster kill. Going to feel pretty good here for NoPing. I think for Infinity, they're going to be feeling pretty bad about that one.
Yeah, I mean, that was the first Roar coming out here for Infinity as well. We're looking at a very slow Necronomicon timing. Look at Dark Mago, just able to jump every single time. And
Cogs is going to save the day. I think this Sexy Yogi Clockwork is going to find out the hard way that the ward is still there, scouting out his movements through that triangle.
I must love them all. There is little hope for Radiance.
A double damage rune now for Dark Mago.
yeah, that's every single power rune going away with Dark Mago. You are not having a good time if you're PP right now. No value out from the bottle. All he gets are the bounty runes. They are going to look to force down bot lane at the least. HFN is left alone. They've got 5 heroes to surround. But there's enough time here for our Gyrocopter to bail out. So going to go for that tier 1 tower push down bot. They've got the siege creep. They've got level 7 on the Beastmaster. They can make short work of those objectives. And at the least, NoPing aren't lined up for their own push. So you have that on hand here if you are Infinity.
That bot lane.
Oh, Orchid reveal.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Gotta be Sexy Yogi dying. Orchid already up on Dark Mago. And they're going to be able to defend this bottom lane. They're bringing in even more now. Pippi going to be targeted. He does commit the Dream Call. A nice arrow there from Pamplona, but they cannot kill off the Storm. What? He does survive. Now coming in, but he's been silenced up. Oh, no. Oh, it's a huge mess here for Infinity. Dark Mago somehow survives all that. NoPing get 2 kills, and they hold the bottom tier 1 tower. Infinity get nothing.
That's a lot wasted out from Infinity. Losing now is the big hurt, right? Like, the Weaver is the one that's had a fairly smooth time, all things considered, up top. Now he's starting to lag behind compared to HFN and Dark Mago. And this is where the toolkit of both heroes starts to shine. And HFN's just going to be able to outfarm. Like, he's got Flak Cannon, he's got Call Down, he can clear out waves, he can clear out lanes as well, though they are smoking up. They've still got Roar here on Infinity's end.
They're going to try HFN, though. He's not going to be that easy of a target. He's got the cooldown. He breaks the smoke as well. Pamplona going to be spotted, but they get the Roar out. Into the arrow now. He has help there from Oscar. The spear away, but HFN going to try and fight back, but he cannot. 3 heroes with 2 balls are going to be more than enough to take down the gyrocopter. And they are actually sticking around, trying to farm up this camp. While Pippi's dying mid lane, mind you. He has no mana left. Hook shot is going to be there, but it's not going to be enough. They've lost the puck, and now they'll lose the clockwork. So it's still worth their time to get the gyrocopter, but they are having a very rough time in that mid lane matchup, and now even bot lane. Oscar going to rotate again, and he might just kill off the beast. This little boy has nowhere to run. The arena being dropped, and that'll be another kill now to NoPing.
I mean, it was nice that they found HFN, but they're just bleeding out now. And Dark Mago?
Yeah, they found now. Time lapse going to be there just in the nick of time. Very close call there for the Weaver. But a 4k net worth lead here for NoPing. And, I mean, they look just about ready to go up to that top lane now and go for that tier 1 tower. Sexy Yogi is going to be there with Pippi to defend, but there's your silence again onto the puck. Sexy Yogi going to try and buy a bit more time here for Pippi to get the Dream Call off, but it's not going to matter. He just melts so darn quick. It's not even close between the Storm and the puck.
No. The issue here is that our puck is constantly forced to defensively use. They can't offensively set up for anything, and they're just being dived under tier 1s.
Yeah, Moonlight Shadow's going to save them. They're still kind of like, where are these guys? Roar is out. They've got the Storm, and they will get something. A very nice play there from Little Boy in Pamplona. I can't believe that actually worked. Now the sentry does come down here from Matthew. So he realizes what happened, but... Oh, they definitely didn't need to lose that Storm just then.
Nah, a bit of a mistake coming out from NoPing. Good punishment out from Infinity. They are still lined up to take that push up top. They've got this Yules up on Oscar, so he can Yules spear set up for himself, and they're just calling back in. They can keep that aggression up.
Onto Little Boy they go. A bit of revenge here. Arrow does land onto HFN. It won't matter. They get the arena down there with Oscar. That'll be Little Boy dying again on the Beastmaster. That'll be a guaranteed top tier 1 tower being taken here by NoPing. But on the brighter side, at least Pippi does get the bottom tier 1 as well. So they do trade objectives. My biggest fear is, though, this net worth disparity is getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue for Infinity. Like, they need to play perfectly around vision advantage. They haven't really been able to get that done. Look at how aggressive they've been with the callbacks. Like, Matthew's all over the map, dragging down cores to find these pickoffs, dragging them down to clear out stacks. And it just leads to higher efficiency for NoPing to work this map. Whereas for Infinity, you know, you can't clear out these camps as fast in the Weaver. You can sort of do that with your puck, but PP's had such a slow game, still saving up for his travels here. They need to find more opportunities as long as Roar is up, and it is back up. They are sort of lying down mid. And the issue is they only see supports right now.
But they do. Pamplona. Oh, they found the Storm. Nice arrow into the Storm Spirit, and Dark Mago once again gonna die. Infinity still managing to make it work, even with this net worth disparity, but now Oscar gets a Yules off into the spear, and they would at least get Pamplona as a trade. Definitely not very worthwhile there for NoPing, but on the brighter side, HFN does take the kill. So all said and done, not too bad.
Yeah, it's not the worst. Still not ideal. They need to get these D-wards down from the side of NoPing, take away some of that vision control that Infinity's had, but they will find that mid-tier 1 that sort of makes it worthwhile. They've got more control on the map now. They can invade the jungle, prevent the puck, prevent the Weaver from farming up, and just keep building up on HFN. He's saving up for his Ags, one part away basically now. And once you've got that up, durability shoots up, damage shoots up as well. There's a nice regen rune here for Dark Mago to clear out, to pick up as well. So your Storm's still feeling fantastic, bouncing back in. And NoPing still hold a 6k lead, whereas Infinity, they still need to play rather quick. Like, they've got Roar, they see HFN solo.
They don't pop him though. HFN now going to be recalled back towards his coddle. Like there have been some stacks being made here for HFN. This is another really powerful kind of thing with this coddle and gyro. Is you can just keep recalling HFN
Dark
stacks.
Mago.
There's now Dark Mago just zipping right onto Pamplona. He's going to be able to kill off that Mirana. Things still going swimmingly here for NoPing and Infinity. They've got a lot of catching up to do. It's 7k behind. You look to this Weaver, and now he's got the Maelstrom now, and he's also got that Falcon Blade, but he's definitely going to need that BKB up before anything, before he can really feel confident in these fights. As soon as he gets silenced up here by the Storm, he's basically guaranteed to die. Now towards the bot side of the map, that'll be Sexy Yogi dying. So he tried to go onto Matthew, but Matthew was with his whole team. At least they do get Pippi out.
Yeah, and that was Dream Coil dropped. It's not a very long cooldown at least, so just a minute where that's down. But NoPing again gets good control on the map. Double damage rune spawns up as well. Going to be a huge boon for HFN, and that does signal the start of Roche. So they go into the pit. There's no wards here from Infinity to see that movement into Roshan. And that is a bit of an issue. They don't have Hawks out here as well. Giving out this first Roche away for free could be costly for the side of Infinity. They can contest. They've got hook shots, but they just don't know what's happening.
It doesn't seem like a great scenario here for Infinity. That'll be the first Aegis of the game now to HFN.
Is under attack.
And well, for him, he's just back to farming. Toward that top lane, get that wave pushed out, and just keep it up. Mind you, Little Boy and Pamplona aren't around this top lane, so they definitely could go for a kill attempt here as HFN is being recalled, and they won't get it in time. Little Boy, mid-animation, just could not make it.
Yeah, that was on the edge for HFN, just trying to greed out on that wave, but still gets good
now
farming. Just solo pickoffs.
That's a massive pickoff onto the Weaver, and now even Sexy Yogi, who just hookshot in a bit too late. Now getting the tip there from Oscar.
Structures are fortified.
And just one thing you can't really afford to happen if you're the Weaver. The only problem being you can't really help it as even Pippi goes down to HFN. Just solo.
How does that happen? It's a puck. You've got orb, you've got phase shift, you can jump out. Rather unfortunate for Infinity. They're really starting to lag behind now. 21-5, 9k lead building up. They might be able to take that top tier one. They've got the summons to deal with it. You do have the Kotl though. I mean, this is the one thing, right? You've got Beastmaster you can push, but Matt you can just de-push by himself, no problems, and he can get the call in to get some kills.
Oh, zip in, silence there onto that Beastmaster, and Dark Mag are going to make sure he dies immediately. Pamplona actually leaping right back in and trying to get some damage out. Matthew's still running away. Does finally go down, but Pamplona is going to trade his life away for that. It looks like maybe he already committed himself because he knew he was probably going to die. But this is just getting from bad to worse now for Infinity. This is a haste rune down bot rune spot now, but Dark Mago is going to be able to freely walk in and pick that up. No contest. Has he missed the power rune yet?
No. The only time I think was the double damage to HFN, but that was still going the side of NoPing. Like, there's no rune control here from Infinity, and that's what's really hurting this. That's what's really hurting them early on. They're just not able to maximize that movement out from a puck, and they're just getting pressured all over. Look at the farm in HFN, 13k net worth. He's almost at that Satanic, and
jeez,
this is just such a farmed up Gyrocopter. Like, once you have the Satanic, you literally can't die. There's just no way. With the Ags up, you just press that and you're back to full HP.
That is kind of ridiculous, John. How fast HFN's farming. And yeah, that Satanic, he's just going to farm it up, finish it off.
This is what we've seen from him, though. This is why he loves the Luna. This is why he loves the Medusa. He just works the map so well and just builds up. And like, they get the control onto Pandaboo, but they can't even stop him from taking outposts.
No, they can't. This is one thing NoPing's really good at, is just playing as a team and not allowing anyone to get picked off by themselves. especially at this point in the game. And there is that Satanic you talked about, now up on HFN.
Yeesh.
In comparison, now is still just trying to farm up the BKB as Sexy Yogi gets caught out now by Dark Mago. Another kill for the Storm, and oh, he's got an Arcane Rune again.
Oh, but he got called back.
He got recalled. Is he running
Oh,
right
but
back?
Oscar's
Yeah,
still
he
protecting
is.
it. Yeah.
Dark Mago's running right back for it. However, while that's happening, they've caught out HFN. Arrow, not gonna land. He has a Satanic, so he heals back up. The Gyro won't die, and now Little Boy goes down. They found now as well the Weaver being silenced up, and he's gonna go down to boot. HFN does not die. They committed everything and then just ran off. It's almost like they realized he had the Satanic. They knew he was not going to get bursted in time. Now NoPing. Up to the top tier 1, or top tier 3, excuse me. Should be able to just clean this up. I don't think that Infinity can stop them.
No, they have nothing on hand. They need to roar. Even their puck just gets solo picked off again by Dark Mago. And again, when you've got the Keeper for Light, you can just call that Storm back in for the push. It's hard now for Infinity to get that defense off. Like, they might need to wait for the next roar, 20 seconds away. They could hold the next racks. This one up top is not going to last for long.
No, it is not. They get the Hawk, making sure there's no vision. That'll be the top racks gone. No defending here from Infinity. Not without Pippi. While they were pushing that top racks, now is just really trying to finish off that BKB because he can't afford to keep getting silenced in the middle of these team fights. Though I say that, Dark Mago knows he's there somewhere. And he's going to come in and steal these neutral camps away from the Weaver. And now has to be careful not to show himself on the map.
Oh, what a scan.
Oh, they found him. Dark Mago, not going to get him. Pamplona, Zip is not going to be long enough. He runs out of mana.
It's a scary point for Infinity. Like, they've got the puck back up. They've got Dream Coil plus Roar. They need to find a good pickoff. And at this point, I don't reckon HFN's the hero unless you really clump up all 5 heroes, all your control to take out this gyrocopter. You might have a better time catching out Dark Mago. He went all in for like an offensive build. He's saving up for his BKB next. He just has a fresh Bloodstone. So the Storm's probably the best core to go for. Maybe Oscar as well, although he is feeling a bit tanky. They just can't find the angles, and despite having these heroes that give them a lot of vision control, the Clockwork and the Beastmaster, they're not able to maximize that. They do have the BKB up on now, and they could try to play with a Moonlight here.
They're going to try. Hook shot, not going to land. Sexy Yogi missing out, and now HFN will turn back around with the homing missile. It's not going to lead to much, but you waste the time and Moonlight Shadow of Infinity. They're sticking around, but how do you kill off HFN? He has a butterfly on the way, I believe. So it gets that much harder now. And Arena has been dropped. Oscar, he gets the team fight started. Call down is there. They've already taken down 2. Onto Pamplona. Looks like they'll leave the Mirana for now and go back after Pippi. And now Pippi, he's trying to run. He's been controlled and he's going to die. Meanwhile, Oscar, he found the Weaver. And the zip in is going to be enough. Dark Mago, make sure the Weaver dies. That might be Megas. In fact, never mind. The tier 2 bot is still there. But you're basically over with this game. There you go. GG's called. They were behind by 25k net worth, and I think when you look at HFN's gyrocopter right now, you just know there's no coming back.
Yeah. He got too much farm early on. They allowed him to just farm up. The lane for Infinity down bot just not what they'd want. Like, they had a Beastmaster. He opted for the board build. You might have had more success there with Wild Axis, just spammed out and something like the Gyro, but it does cost them in the end. NoPing does take that one. So it's a drawn series, and that does mean the scores right now for Group A, Infinity still climbs up because they're 2 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses. That ties them up with Dog Champ. and NoPing do jump up slightly to 2-1-1. So they're still in the bottom half here. NoPing, Infinity still climbed their way to tied up for number 2, basically, which is still a good result. But you do have to, it smarts a bit to lose like that. But we have seen this back and forth with the ping issues. Still, NoPing played fantastically. Infinity gonna have to look elsewhere to start climbing up a bit more. But that does lead to our next series, which should be 5-man Midas versus the Cut. That's going to be a big one as well, and I'm keen to see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be a pretty hype matchup between those two, and we'll see what happens very soon, John. There is going to be a slight delay. It looks like it is going to be roughly 15 minutes before that Game 1 starts between 5-man Midas and the Cut. But as soon as the Game 1 draft is up, we'll be back with it available. Until then, of course, it is MLP and johnxfire. We'll see you all again very soon for Game 1 between the Cut versus 5-man Midas.